Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, to the Moms Podcast with your host, Kathy and Amaris. How's everyone doing? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, guys.
Today we are doing part 2 of our This or That series in light of Women's History Month. So today's topic is women's empowerment and equality.
This should be interesting.
I'm really excited. I haven't looked at the questions yet at all.
Same. I mean, I glanced through them and I was like, ooh, this looks like a good topic of discussion.
But before we start, can we just take a minute to appreciate that it's daylight outside still?
Yeah, seriously.
Makes me so happy.
It does. Although this morning we woke up late. We woke up at 7:30 and I was like, everybody needs to wake up right now. Right now.
It's going to take time. Yeah. You guys know how daylight savings goes for parents. It's like,
it's crazy.
We haven't transitioned well at all. The first night my son kept waking up, but it wasn't because of the daylight savings. He had growing pains, which we've been dealing with. So he woke up like around 4 and then he went back to sleep at 6. It was like a whole thing. I was so tired. And then yesterday we went to the aquarium and I think did he take a nap? I think he took like a nap in the car on the way back. That nap messed him up. He didn't fall asleep till 1 a.m. What is that?
Well, and we did insane.
And we did the early routine. We've been coming up at 7. 7:15ish. We did bath, everything. 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
But he slept through the night. So I'm like, okay.
All right. He was probably tired.
I woke up around 8. He woke up at 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I have 2 alarms. One at 6:30, one at 7. Don't remember 6:30 going off. Don't remember turning off this. No, I don't remember snoozing the 7 a.m.
Wow.
So when the snooze came on at 7:09, I was like, oh my gosh, I snoozed it again. And then I snoozed it again. I'm like, all right, I gotta get out. It's like, this is crazy.
Did the kids sleep through the night?
No, they woke up. They always wake up to make sure that someone is there. It's very rare where lately Thane has been, but I'm still trying to figure out the magic of why he sleeps through the night. Cirilla will not. She will wake up and be like
Grayson,
I'm alone. I can't be alone. I'm just a baby.
Grayson. Yeah, he'll be like, it's spooky, mama. I want to see Dada. And I'm like, Dada's sleeping.
Yeah, sorry, kid. Let's get into today's episode. All right. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? I don't care.
I'll go first. So question number 1. Equal pay or better work-life balance for moms? And to add to that, which would have a bigger impact on your life? And have you ever had to advocate for yourself in the workplace?
Oh,
equal pay or better work-life balance for moms. That is such. Damn, why put those in the same?
Equal pay or better work-life balance for moms.
Honestly, I think I would prefer the better work-life balance. I'm all for equal pay, but I feel like when you have children, having that flexibility of being able to take your time off and not feel guilt around it or coming home at a reasonable time. I feel like those things are more important for me.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of if my child is in school or if they're in extracurricular activities, I would like to have that flexibility, to be able to be present for those things.
Right. No, I get that.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I'm trying to think which one because I'm like, whoa. But to add to your answer, have you ever had to advocate for yourself in the workplace?
Well, I wasn't a mom in the workplace, so I don't know.
Oh, okay, that doesn't right.
Really, so I think those questions don't really apply for me.
Right.
Apply to me. But I know you have a little bit of experience.
That's why it's so tough for me to answer because it's
what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking back by my last job, it was another female, and we were paid equally. Our
Yeah.
experiences and education were different,
Okay.
but our pay was the same. As
Mhm.
far as work-life balance, I mean, I had work-life balance. The moment it was five
Mhm.
o'clock, I dipped. Even when they asked me to stay later, I was like, I got a kid to take
Gotcha.
care of. Like,
So I guess it
I
depends on
gotta
like the
go.
career that you're in.
I think so.
Cuz
Yeah.
cuz I feel like if I were in the career that I was before
Mm-hmm.
becoming a mom, like I probably wouldn't have a good work-life balance because
Right.
you like with your job you were able to clock out and go home. With me it's different. Like issues arise, with residents. Sometimes people would come in for like a last minute tour.
Right.
Um
Was very demanding, your job.
yeah, and then as far as the pay, it was tricky because with my job everyone gets paid differently. Like you could have three leasing agents in an office and they could all be paid differently. Like
Right. Right.
I was always paid significantly higher. Hold on. My dad was calling. Did you hear
Oh,
that?
no, I didn't.
I was getting the call through the laptop. Um, yeah, I was paid significantly different than the other leasing agents, but my higher pay came from experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I had more
Yeah.
experience in that field. So I feel like that would make
My
sense
bad.
to. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
No, I think
yeah,
definitely equal pay is such a huge thing in the workforce because I remember my last job, we
yeah,
were looking through I forgot the terminology, but all in all, we were looking at everybody's pay, everybody's
yeah,
description. We
yeah,
were updating the description, sending it to managers, supervisor, leads, and saying, even like actually everybody, like
yeah.
this is what your job position looks like now. I want you to write down any extra things that you do so that we can pretty much base it off like what the
Mm,
market is
all right.
doing and like
Yeah,
do like equal pay. I forgot what the term. I haven't been in my job for like what 5 years
I
now, so
I
like
know. Me too. I'm
that
like
terminology is gone. But I remember a lot of people were seeing that they weren't getting paid what they should be
that. I
getting
understand.
paid.
Yeah.
It was like a lot, and we did make an adjustment. And I don't know. I guess just the last company, I think they
Hmm.
fairly paid everyone the same. Like everyone starts
Okay.
off at like a base,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So then from your experience, it's like, okay,
Okay.
well, your experience education, it can put you up. So where I
That
worked
makes
at,
sense.
it
Yeah.
was equal.
Hmm.
Actually not equal because that means everyone's paying the same, but it
Like it
was,
starts off.
yeah, it was very fair. So I
Okay,
don't
that makes
have that
sense.
experience. You know what
Because
I
I feel like
mean?
that's how Blue's job is too.
Mm-hmm.
When you start off, everyone gets a base, and then you kind of like you know go from there. But with
Yeah.
mine is different. Like one leasing person or one community manager may get a different base pay than another because there's so many factors that go into
Right.
that field. The market that you're in, obviously if you live in a city you're going to get paid more than living in like the middle of nowhere,
Right.
whereas not a lot of people are renting apartment. Like it's just different. But then also I also think it depends on the level of experience, like I was telling you.
Yeah.
So like you don't need a degree to be a leasing consultant, but
Yeah.
because I had one, my pay was higher. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in that sense, like that's kind of fair,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember there was this one time, and I mean they weren't fathers or women, but I remember this one guy, he was with the company for like years.
Yeah.
And we had hired someone that just like came in with like little experience, and his hourly rate was higher than the
Mm.
one that was there for like years. And he was so upset,
Oh,
so bummed about it. But
yeah.
like we in that company, we were going through like this weird transition where anybody coming in was getting a
Mm-hmm.
higher pay, and
Mm.
anyone who was there before wasn't
Yeah.
getting anything. And to
Ah,
answer like I mean, I also wasn't a mom at this point, but like
right.
I did like advocate for myself, like, I do think I deserve a higher pay, blah, blah, blah. They
Mm-hmm.
like denied me. And I remember this intern that we hired full time, he was negotiating his pay. Okay. And my manager at the time was like upset because he's like, I don't understand. Like, he's only been here for like half a year. He's an intern with like no other experience and he wants like $75,000. I don't want him getting paid more than you. And she pointed at me. I literally had like a knot in my chest and I was like, oh. And then she's like how much is your pay? And I told her whatever it was at the time, and she turned flush red because it was significantly lower than what this intern wanted full time. And I kid you not, an intern turning full time. Can you imagine that? So that was the day I was like, I need to look for a job ASAP. I found one and I was like, peace. And then she was like, she's like, how much are you getting paid there? And I told her. She's like, well, I can't give that to you. I was like, and even if you could, I'm leaving. Like, this isn't a scare tactic. Like, I'm outie, scouty. You know? I wasn't playing games.
Yeah, we went in on that question.
We did. Moving along.
Moving along.
Okay. More women in leadership or more support for women-owned businesses? And then to follow up, which one do you think would create more lasting change? Have you ever supported a female-owned business that inspired you? I'm gonna go, just based on my experience, I'm gonna go with supporting women-owned businesses because I have worked with plentiful of women in leadership.
Same,
and they are all unkind. Now, I don't know.
Unfortunately.
That's very nice of me to say.
Yeah. No, I agree. Same.
Because like I almost feel like they're only like that because they have their egos kind of have to match their male coworkers in leadership roles.
Like they feel like they have to prove something.
Yeah, like they're constantly having to prove themselves and work hard. And like I get it, like in today's world, like us women were being questioned whether we're strong and capable to do other things. But I just think it's wrong for people who are above me and I report to them to act so mean and rude all the time and treat me like I'm done when it's like, honey, like I'm new, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to learn from you. So I would much rather support women-owned businesses because I do think women-owned businesses does make a lasting change, you know?
No, I agree. And I feel like how do I put this into words? There has not been a lot of women-owned businesses throughout the years, or at least like growing up. Like I feel like more and more women are starting businesses, and I think that's amazing. Every time I see like a small women-owned business, it could be anything, I get so giddy. It's like,
me too.
Like that is so cool. Like I love that. I've seen like coffee shops that are women-owned or like breweries, stores, like little stores in our downtown area, and I love that.
Same. My dentist's office is woman-owned too.
Mine too.
I love
Mine too. It's all women working. Like I love that.
I love it. I'm like, yeah, get it.
And then which one do you think would create a more lasting change? I think the women
own businesses.
Yeah.
You know, because when I feel like they're more supportive and inspiring and they're not mean about it. They're just like, us women need to stick together. We need to like prove everyone that we can do this stuff. You know, so like
it's a different message, I feel.
Yes.
And then the other question was, have you ever supported a female-owned business that inspired you? I mean, we just said the dentist.
But also we're not thinking about the social media agency that we're a part of.
Yeah, it's
like that's woman-owned. She's a mom, and I'm just like, yeah.
Our podcast, hello.
Duh. I mean, it's a hobby.
I know, but still.
But you know, hello. Oh,
so yeah, all the women businesses we fully support. Okay, next. Number 3. Fighting for women's rights today or honoring the women who paved the way. Do you think enough women know the history behind the rights we have today? And who is a woman from history or your own life that inspires you? Damn, these are getting deep. Fighting for women's rights today or honoring the women who paved the way. Ugh. It's like I can't.
Both. I'm not.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
picking.
Yes,
It's
exactly. It's
both.
both. It's
It's
both.
both. Like women's
Yeah,
rights today. It's questions, and then how can we
yeah.
honor the women
So
that
like it's like
fought?
they're intertwined, the two.
Yeah. Like you have to be
Yeah,
able to honor those who pay the way and fought for our rights,
absolutely.
because we got to learn from them and how they
Mm-hmm.
succeeded, so
Mm-hmm.
that in today's age we can continue fighting for rights that, like, honestly, we
Exactly.
shouldn't even be fighting for.
Yeah,
And then to
yeah. Like
follow up on the other question, I don't think women know the history behind the rights that we have today, because if they did,
no, yeah. I think
we
we need more
wouldn't
of
be
that.
fighting. Yeah, we need more of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need more education on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then who is a woman from history or your own life that inspires you?
Hmm.
That's a good
A
question.
woman? I don't know a woman in history.
I'm trying to think. Um,
I don't think I personally have one, to be honest. I'm trying to think.
trying to think too.
Do, 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 do. That's. I don't
I'm trying to
know.
think of like shows that I've watched that take place back in time. Honestly, I don't know. I can't think. It's so bad. Like I really can't think of any
Yeah, it is bad, but
right
like I
now.
don't. Yeah, I can't think of anyone. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Next
Next,
question. Breaking generational cycles or passing down traditions. And then to follow up, what's something you're cautiously changing and how you raise your kids? And is there a tradition from your childhood
oh
that
my
you're
god.
keeping alive?
Oh my god. I really gotta think. Okay, breaking. I mean, like which one's more important? Breaking more.
Yeah, I
I
guess.
would say breaking generational cycles. I feel like that's more important than passing
I
down traditions.
I completely agree.
Because I'm creating my own traditions. I'm not using. I don't.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to make sure I'm breaking the generational cycles. I feel like that's so important. That's something that is on my mind at least once a day.
24/7.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
never
Literally.
leaves. It never leaves, you know? But no, definitely
Um.
breaking generational cycles, because I feel like you said, every day I'm always thinking, well, how can I be better? How can I do
Yeah.
things differently? What
Mm-hmm.
did I do that like upset them? And even if I do see that it upset my child, I'm like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
did blah 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 upset you? And
Mm-hmm.
my daughter will say yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Or I think of like, oh, how did that affect my childhood?
mhm.
And if it did, like, does it bother me still today? Like, okay, I got to make sure that I don't do the same for Grayson. And I'll give you
Yep.
guys like, it's a dumb example, but whatever. I kind of told you the other day. So Blue had told Grayson like, oh, like I'm gonna take you to the park today, blah blah blah. I think I was on my cycle because I sent Lou. It wasn't a nasty text, but I was
Yeah.
like, hey, like just make sure you follow through. And by the way, my husband always follows through with his promises when it comes to his kids. Always. I don't know why I told him this. I was like, make sure you take Grayson to the park. Don't make promises that you can't keep because growing up, my dad always promised me to take me to see the Rockettes, and he never took me to see the Rockettes. Like that. I know it's dumb, but like I think about those things, like, and
Yeah.
it's not just the Rockettes. Like, I was promised so many things as a kid, like, and I
Yeah.
still remember that my parents didn't do,
Mhm.
and I don't want Grayson to have to go through that. And I know that's so dumb, you guys, and dramatic, but
No.
that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need to have a word with your dad.
That's hilarious.
I'm just very cautious about
No, I
how
get
I
that.
parent and how I say things and how I word things because
Mhm.
I don't know. I just don't.
No, I
Yeah.
totally get you. There
Yeah.
are times that, like, I don't tell the kids that people are coming over, because it's like, well, God
Yeah.
forbid if someone gets sick or they couldn't make it, like, it would make them upset. And I know it has happened like
Exactly.
a couple of times,
I'm
like with
so
your
careful with
aunt.
that.
And
Yeah.
like, not that she did it like
Yeah.
intentionally, it's just she got sick or something
Yeah.
needed
Yeah.
her attention. And I'll be like, I'm sorry, like she's not coming, and like the sadness in their face, like it truly breaks my heart.
So you get
So
it.
So from that moment on, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna tell anyone that. I'm not gonna tell the kids that, you know, people are like coming and stuff
Girl,
like that.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I don't know what it is about that. Like, I I have to make sure that I follow through with what I say. It's so important. The other day I was talking to my dad and my brother mentioned something like, "Oh, I'm going to visit you next weekend." No, he's not. And I told my dad, like, don't have him say that, because Grayson's at an age right now, he has amazing memory.
Yeah.
Amazing memory. Like, he's remembering everything. So I have to be extra careful right now with what I say, and I just want to make sure that I'm not breaking any promises, and I don't want my child to be disappointed in any way, because I for sure was plenty of times as a kid. And yeah, I don't want him to go through that.
Yeah, my uncle, which is also my godfather, used to do broken promises all the time. And my mom at a young age told me and my sister, whatever Theo tells you, don't believe him, because,
well, that's good that she told
you know, like he's going to break it. Don't, it's not your fault. Like, just whatever he says, just say, okay, sure. But don't hold them up to it. So I think I kind of knew.
No, kudos to your mom for saying that.
Yeah, well, I think because she knows how her brother is, like, full of shit. So, excuse my French. But like, my mom wasn't playing games, because she's like, I don't like that either.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So that's definitely one thing that stands out to me, the broken promises. What was the other?
And then, is there a tradition from your childhood that you're keeping alive?
I mean, right now, this is probably doesn't really have anything to do with parenting, but like cartoons.
Oh yeah.
Grayson is really big into Little Bear right now, Franklin, and he also loves Clifford, the big red dog. Those are all cartoons that I grew up watching, and I love them. They're very calming, and I love that he loves them so much, especially Little Bear. Like, he's going through a Little Bear phase right now.
Oh, I love that.
So that's something that I've been trying to, past
do.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes to mind for me is Valentine's Day, just doing something special for them, because every year my dad will get us teddy bears and like heart chocolates. Now I'm not doing that, because like they don't need any more toys.
Yeah.
But I'm just doing something special for them on Valentine's Day.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. My mom and I used to do a lot of crafts together, because my mom has always been very crafty, and my parents used to own a flower shop. So my mom, I was just always around like crafts, and I just remember doing stuff with my hands with my mom, and I want to do that with Grayson, whether it's cooking, or doing stuff, any kind of craft together. I definitely want to do that, because those are some of my fondest memories with my mom. And I feel like, I know Grayson's too young right now, but I feel like those are the things that he's remembering the most right now.
Yeah.
Like, he'll bring it up, like when we made ornaments together for Christmas. Like, he still remembers that, and he'll bring it up randomly sometimes, and I love that.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. All right. Next is my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay. Having a mentor or being a mentor. Have you ever had a mentor who changed your life? What's something you wish younger women or moms knew? Having a mentor or being a mentor. Trying to think if I've been a mentor before. I mean, I guess in the workplace, if you could call it
that. I think for me, and just being like a mom to an autistic child, I would want to have a mentor, because I think that would help me out so much, kind of to understand if I'm doing things right, or if I need help somewhere or something to understand. So I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast, but 2 or sometime last month, I joined the school district's, I don't want to say the whole thing, school district special education PTA meeting, and no one else joined, because I think a speaker was supposed to come on and they had to reschedule. So it was just me and like 2 of the PTA members, and it was just so nice to have that one-on-one time with them, and kind of just talking about like what's been going on with us and their experience.
I love that.
I personally, that has changed my life because they gave me so much insight that I didn't know. And next week I have his IEP meeting. So I'm like, okay, like brace yourself. They might change schools for him. And if they do, it's not because they don't think he can thrive in that school, but they want to see how he can thrive at his home school and a different type of classroom setting. So one of the ladies told me that don't be surprised if he's going to bounce around from different schools because they're trying to see what school will benefit him and his education.
I mean, I guess that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, that's what she said. She's like, when it was happening to her, she was like, how could you do that? She was like advocating for him. But then once she like took the emotions out and stuck to the fact, she was like, actually, that benefited him a lot.
It's kind of showing that they care about where, you know, it's being placed. I am probably gonna say the same, that I would like to have a mentor. Almost like not necessarily a role model, but just like someone that you can learn from. In like any aspect of life. But right now, yeah, I would love to have a mentor. For social media, for example, I've been doing content creating. I would love to, which we kind of do have right now. And it's been really nice to like learn from different women. Maybe one day I'll be a mentor, but I'm not a mentor right now. Point of life, you know. And then, have you ever had a mentor who changed your life? I mean, I guess that could be anyone, right? It could be a teacher. It could be a teacher, a mentor. It could be, that changed my life.
That changed my life. I don't think I've ever had a mentor that changed my life. I feel like I would
remember. Yeah. I feel like we would remember.
Yeah.
And then, what's something you wish younger women
or moms knew? You're not alone, you know? Like, you're not alone. There is a community out there. If you want to build your community on social media, do it. Don't care what anyone else thinks. I think for so long, with me creating content online, I was like scared what people thought, or inviting people into my life because I was scared of like the negative comments and how I would deal with it. Now I'm just like, I don't care.
No, same.
Like, let me be happy. Let me do what I want to do. That makes me happy, you know?
Otherwise, you're never going to do all the things you want to do in life if you're holding back. And,
Yeah. All right. Next.
Move it along.
All right. Supporting women through words or supporting them through actions. Have you ever felt empowered by another woman's support? What's something small but impactful that women can do for each other?
Oh, that's a good one. Supporting women through words, or see, that's tough, right? Because we're like in the social media world right now where we're doing content creating, and I feel like that maybe I don't want to say the term like change my life, but it's boosted my confidence a little bit. Having these women support me and like their kind words, I just think it's so uplifting, and I love that. Like, it feels really nice, and it feels nice being a part of something. You know? So I think I'm gonna go with words for me right now.
I think for the same thing too. I think words right now mean a lot to me. I think all actions, I feel like it's so tough when like you're in a busy world. But if you're taking the time and reaching out to me, whether it's a phone call or like a text message, and like truly asking me how I'm doing, not how's my kids doing, how's my husband doing, like me, myself, and I, because I'm a person, you know?
I feel like with moms, like words are powerful. You all, it just takes a simple text, a simple phone call, a simple, like, how are you doing? Like, that's it. That's all we need.
Right. Like, I love the woman that I met online, because I remember when I took that little break in the summer, someone messaged me. They were like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I've been thinking about you. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, that's so nice. Like, I don't know you in person, but like, we support each other's content creation. And like, you reached out to me during your busy time, like that was nice.
No, it's so, girl, like some of these comments, like of women. Like I'm thinking of one in particular, this girl that we follow each other. We've been following each other for like the longest time. She started taking like a supplement called saffron for like mood balance, and I guess because she's been struggling with like anxiety and um unable to fall asleep. And she reached out to me and she was like, hey, like I know like you posted videos in the past about your mental health, like you should give this a try. Like I've been like that. She did not have to do that.
Right.
You know, like that was so
Right.
nice. Like she posted a video about it and then she reached out to me directly letting me know. And I did end up getting the supplement, by the way. And I don't know, just something simple like that was just, I don't know, was so nice.
Yeah.
What was the other
Have you ever felt empowered by another woman's support? Yeah, for sure. I think
yeah.
when the same people keep showing up,
Yeah.
you're like, okay,
Yeah.
like yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then what's something small but impactful that women can do for each other?
Something small but impactful. Um, like
I think just supporting. I feel like that's so like
so
redundant.
support, compliment one another. You're doing an amazing job. You know, you look beautiful today. You're an amazing mom. Or hey, I noticed you did
words of
this.
encouragement.
Yeah, words of encouragement.
Yes,
yes. Yeah. Okay. Your turn. My turn.
I think it's your turn.
Okay. More. No. Yeah.
Confidence or resilience?
Okay. I might need glasses. What the heck? Okay. Confidence or resilience? Which has been more important in your life? Have you ever had a moment where one of these qualities got you through? And do you think one is easier to build than the other? Oof, that's a really tough one. Confidence or resilience? Which one has been more important in your life? Um, I think I think resilience has been more important in my life. Just being able to pick myself up after like a traumatic event in my life. Like that's where my mind goes with this question.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all my life I've been taught, oh, you need more confidence, you need more of this. So I feel like I naturally go through that. But like you said, like resilience, like picking yourself up and the ability to adapt and overcome challenges, like I bounce back through a lot of stuff that no one knows about.
Right.
And I look back and I'm just like, damn, I went through all that by myself. No one knew, no support. And here I am.
Exactly. That's resilience right there.
Yeah. Here I am, like making content on the podcast.
You're showing up. Yeah.
I'm showing up. It's slowly building my confidence. So I feel like for me, my confidence is coming from my resilience.
Same. 1,000%. I'm just thinking about all the event. Yeah, like you said, postpartum depression. You know, when I went through my loss, like those are all huge monumental times in my life where I've had to pick myself up, like you said. And
yeah.
And have you ever had a moment where one of these qualities got you through? Yeah, probably when I went through my loss.
Yeah, I think for me the most recent was when Thane had like eloped, ran away. Like that was some tough stuff to like go through. And the fact that like both Abraham and I mean the fear is still there, but the fact that we were able to see like, oh, something's coming. Like I could feel depression creeping in, the anxiety, the everything coming in. We need to leave this house, go on a little vacation, dedicate time. And it helped us tremendously. It helped us so much. There are times I could feel myself like slipping into like a depression, like everything that happened in January, like everything that's happened in 2025 so far. I felt like a dip. But like now I'm like, I'm good. I'm Gucci.
And
I'm
I
fine.
feel like with motherhood, it kind of forces you to be more resilient. Where I feel like in the past, I might have just sat with my feelings or sulked. Whereas now it's like, no, I need to get out of this because I need to be there for my son. I need to show up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I give myself a week. I'm like, a week of sorrow,
Yes,
and then let's go.
Yeah.
Enough is
Same.
enough.
No, I'm the same way. Like, it doesn't matter how sad in the world I am. Like, no, I'm
it's like, get up, bitch. Let's go.
Yeah.
Britney Spears songs comes in. You want a hot buddy?
Oh, yeah.
You want a lot? You better work, bitch.
I love that. And do you think one is easier to build than the other?
Oh,
I feel like no, but if I had to choose, I think confidence is easier.
Confidence so easy.
Yeah.
Fake it until you make it.
Fake it until you make it. If it's your, I don't know, if it's your physique or your, the physical aspect, go to the gym, work out, eat healthy. Like, you can get there.
Yeah.
Resilience takes work. It can take therapy. It's harder.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Alrighty, next. Ooh! More maternity leave support or more affordable childcare?
Diablo.
Which would make the biggest difference in your life or for moms in general? And how do you think society can better support moms in the workplace?
I think I'm gonna go with more maternity leave support. I think we need more maternity leave support in this country, at least. I mean, we do need affordable childcare too, but I think
we need both.
We need both.
We definitely need both for sure. I'm just thinking.
I feel like our mental health would be so much better for moms.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with more maternity leave support.
I feel like we can perform better at our jobs too. Yeah. Like, once we're back. I just think we need better support.
I'm like thinking, I'm like, now my HR brain is like,
we need more time. We need support groups. We need resources.
Like, for real resources. It doesn't matter.
We don't get that in this country.
State. Yeah. Well, in the state of New Jersey, our maternity leave is really good. Yeah. It is really good compared to other states.
It is. But I mean like resources, like as far as like when women give birth. We don't have that. It's not as good as it is in other countries.
I feel like after 6 weeks or like 8 weeks, they check up on you once and that's it. No, we need more. As much as they check in on the baby, they need to check on us moms to see how everything is going. Like, how are we affording childcare, or when are we going back to work? Like, there's just a lot that goes in. Like, I remember going back to work and I was so upset, so miserable. I was so unhappy because it's like, I thought I personally had more time, but because Thane came early, my maternity leave was cut short. And this was before, I think, FLI, you get 12 weeks. I think with FLI, you only get like 6 weeks. So I was only gone for work for like 12 weeks. That's not enough time.
No, because your child's still a newborn. You're still dealing with so much. You're pumping, you're breastfeeding, all the things.
Like, it truly was. It honestly, it's just not great.
It's not. And I'm just thinking about the non-pumping moms. Like, what if women want to breastfeed for like? Like,
you can't. You have to make that choice to stop, because it's like you can't bring your baby to like continue
That's really
breastfeeding.
Sad, right?
It is sad because it forces you to make choices. And for me, I definitely felt forced to stop. And I feel like that's why my breastfeeding journey with Thane was terrible, because I was thinking, well, like, how am I supposed to keep up with supply if I'm going back to work in X amount of time? And then when I talked to my boss about it, she was like, oh, well, you could do it during your lunchtime. And I'm just like, my fucking lunchtime? Like, this is insane. I'm like, I need 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon. She's like, oh, that could probably be doable. Like, what the fuck is that?
No, we need more support.
So more support. And then which one will make the biggest difference? For sure. And how do you think society can better support moms in the workplace? I think every company needs to have some sort of like lactation consultant, like wellness therapists for these moms, even if we don't like, let's
that's
say
actually
for like
really
12,
good. A wellness therapist is
yeah,
good.
like when I came back, we had Wellness Wednesdays, and you best believe I took advantage of that therapist. Technically, the way that was supposed to be is you meet them twice and you get discharged. That therapist kept asking me to come back week after week. I saw her like 6 times until COVID hit, and we had to like stop everyone from like coming in. But yeah, like that truly did kind of help me during those times. But I think a wellness therapist is needed, a lactation consultant is needed. Better laws for breastfeeding moms and pumping moms needs to be put in place.
Yeah, like dedicated rooms that are for that.
First job,
yeah,
we had an abundance of moms breastfeeding. You best believe we made a lactation room. It was small, but we made a room for them. It should be everywhere. You know, we accommodated those moms, and those moms thrived in their breastfeeding journeys. Why? Because that HR department that I was a part of made sure they have the space and the time to pump. It was to a point that we had like a schedule, like, okay, person 1 is going at 10:30, person 2 gets the room at
that's amazing.
11:30. Like my first job, as questionable and a facade as it was, when it came down to the employees, like they did so well.
That's amazing.
Too bad it's closed.
Yeah. Celebrating small wins or pushing for big change. Do you struggle with recognizing your own achievements? And what's a small win that felt like a big deal for you? Celebrating small wins or pushing for big change. I'm gonna go with I want
to go with celebrating small wins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with celebrating small wins.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what keeps you going.
That's what keeps you going, and I feel like as moms, I feel like we kind of downplay our small wins. Like we don't celebrate them as much, or like we think certain things are too small.
Yeah.
To be celebrated, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like if moms pumped 15 ounces in the morning, but like in the afternoon they pump 30. That's a small win, baby. Celebrate that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Do you struggle with recognizing? Yeah, I struggle with recognizing my own achievements all the time.
I'm my biggest critic.
Same. I have my husband to like tell me all the time. Like, oh, but you've done X, Y, and Z, and it's like, oh, okay.
You're right, and
that's what I happened for.
There are times where I downplay it. I'm like talking to you about it, and you're like, girl, but like X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, wait, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Yeah. And then what's a small win that felt like a big deal for you? A small win that felt like a big deal for you.
For me, recently, I saw on TikTok I have 15.1K likes. I was like, oh my God, for my silly little videos.
That's really good.
15.1K likes, like, that's amazing.
That's, I mean, I have so many. I pumped for 7 months when I had Grayson. Like, I feel like that's such a huge accomplishment for me. Like 7 months is a lot to pump. And I'm trying to think what else. I guess like my following on TikTok right now.
Yeah, you've been doing amazing, girl.
Yeah, I'm almost at 4K, which is like
amazing.
Insane. I haven't even like really processed that. Like I've been so down on myself lately with the social media. Like I've been feeling very burnt out, and I haven't been filming as much. But then Blue tells me all the time, like, babe, but your followers, like they're growing, like something's happening. Like you have to remind yourself, like you started here in December, and now look at where you're at, and then I have to think to myself, oh, okay, wow, like he's right.
Yeah. Well, I told you what Abraham said. He's like, if there was anyone he thought was gonna make it, like be famous, I know, I always and stuff like that. He's like,
I always think back to that. It's when you told me that,
and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna text her that. He's like, yeah, like I always thought it would
so
be
nice.
her, and I was like,
that is so nice. I always think about that comment. That you
anytime you feel down about yourself, think of your husband and think of that comment.
I will. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
But that is it.
That's it.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. That's all the time we have for today. We will be doing a part 3 next week. It's our final one, right?
It's our final one, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening in, and we can't wait to see you on the next one. Make sure to give us a follow on our socials, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And we love you so much.
Bye.